Today it's time for another episode taken from our new cookbook, Peter Sidwell's Kitchen. We have got the most delicious homemade chicken kebabs taken from our chapter, Dad's Dinners. Okay, time to make the most delicious chicken kebab. I'm quite excited about this one. I wrote this recipe. I've been waiting to cook it again for you guys. Right, so we've got to make a really good kebab and we're going to serve it with homemade flatbreads as well. Now I've got some yogurt here. We're going to make our marinade to begin with. So I've got some smoked paprika, which is going to give it a really lovely flavour. I've got the good stuff, Carlos.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, do you approve?
Pimentón de la Vera.
Yeah, right back at you. There we go. And then I've got a little bit of oregano to go in there. So two very sort of savoury flavours. And then we need to get some garlic in there and really give it some. Now this recipe works really well if you marinate it overnight. Does need some time. If you haven't got the time to do it overnight, at least give it a couple of hours, all right? And if you've got a vacuum packer, you could get it into the bag and vacuum it, and that will just force all the flavours in. So I'm just going to chop up my garlic fairly rough. It doesn't matter, just whack it in. Don't use dried garlic. Don't use frozen garlic. And don't use pre-chopped. Use real garlic, all right? None of that frozen rubbish. It's not. It's not. If you like frozen garlic, watch Emily's cookery program, not mine. Coming soon. Right, so garlic in. Now let's get a little bit of lemon in there, so that acidity will help break the chicken down and tenderize it for you. So it really does sort of, the acidity from the yogurt and the lemon juice is what's going to break it down, make it nice and tender, make it delicious, all right? So in that goes. Let's give that a little bit of a stir. Now, if you want today's recipe, just type new book in the comments below and it will launch into Facebook Messenger. Follow the instructions and it will take you to our website where if you want to, you can pre-order the book, be one of the first people to get it, get your copy signed, get it personalised. Just type new book in the comments below. Right, there we go. Let's just put that to one side. Let's talk chicken. Okay, so I've got chicken thighs, okay? And these are bone-in, so they are cheaper if you buy them with the skin on and the bone in and take it out yourself. So the skin comes off really easily, just, there you go. And then with the bone, there's just a straight bone. Can you see this, Carlos?
Yep.
That runs along there. Just use the tip of your knife. So when you're doing butchery, you tend to use the tip of the knife more than when you're doing like fishmongery, you tend to use the length of the blade. So just put your knife like that and just cut against the bone. So the pressure is going towards the bone, not towards the meat. All right, so do it that side. Turn the chicken over, do the same on that side. So I'm pushing against that thigh bone. And then eventually it will just come free of the meat. And then you can just use the knife, hold the bone, and then just cut it away like so. Really, really easy. And then you've got your chicken thigh. Okay? Now, if you were at home, if you had a whole chicken, you would take the thighs and legs off together, joint them, and then do exactly this. So it's entirely up to you how you approach this one. If you don't want to do this job, just go and buy skinless and boneless chicken thighs. Don't use chicken breast on this because it will just dry out and you're wasting your money. It's too expensive for that kind of nice, long, slow cook, all right? Chicken thighs have got more flavour in and they suit a longer, slower cook. So I've just done 2 there. I'm just going to pop these straight into our marinade. I'm going to get on with the rest of these. And once I've done those, you'll be straight back. Right, so there you go. That is the last one removed. So let's get that in. And then just get your hands in and make sure every bit of chicken has got some of that garlicky, smoky yogurt coated on it. And then the longer you can let this go in the marinade, the more delicious this is going to be. But it needs at least a couple of hours. Okay, chicken's marinated overnight, is absolutely full of flavour. So time to make our kebabs. Now I've got 2 peeled white onions. All I'm going to do is cut them in half like that. Okay, kebab stick. Bear with me. I came up with this idea while I was trying to go to sleep last night. So I think it's going to work, and it's going to work well, but you never know. So what we're going to do is take our kebab stick, push it through the base, and just keep going, and then push down. Right, there. I'm actually going to put 2 in. All right, I should have done this at the same time, but I didn't. Okay, so there we go. Bizarre, I know, but it's going to work, all right? So take 2 kebab sticks, take an onion, and then just push it through. So that's now going to stabilize the kebab. Okay? Take the thighs and just push it on there. See? You were wondering what on earth I was talking about, weren't you, Emily? Yeah? There we go. So that's like, I'm going to take 3 on there. And then, you're thinking this is a bit mad, aren't you, Carlos?
No, I'm really interested.
Okay. What I'm trying to be able to do is cook it like you would buy a kebab. You know, if you went to a kebab shop, I assume, I haven't been to a kebab shop in
Neither did I.
25 years, so I'm assuming it's all still the same, nothing's changed. So I'm just going to pop those on there. Right, let me just rinse my hands a second. Now, I think what we could do is take some onion and pop that in between. What this is going to do is give flavour, but it's also going to give some moisture in there, okay? So if I just put those together, like so.
This looks like a burger.
I'm not sure what it looks like, but looks like a model Thomas would have made at school and brought home. Mummy, Mummy, look what I made! Okay, so there we go. And I've got one more on that one. And then I'm just going to pop the onion on top, like so. There we go. We've got our 2 chicken kebabs. Now, this is all well and good if you've got a very large oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these sticks a bit shorter. Otherwise, you're going to have to take the shelves out of your oven. Okay? There we go. Pop that on there. There we go. Let's get rid of this. Just going to wash my hands again. Right. Okay. So all I'm going to do now is a little drizzle of oil. Just down the middle, I think. There we go. And then I'm going to season it up. I didn't season it with any salt in the yogurt mixture. So it's had no seasoning on at all at this stage. So what I'm going to do is just lay it on its side, season it up. Yeah. I'll do the same with some pepper. You know, you want a kebab, you want big flavours in this. You know, this is not for the faint-hearted. You know, if you wanted chili as well, you wanted to spice it all up, you can do. You can make that yogurt marinade the way you want. What we're going to do now is we're going to pop this into the oven. It's going to take an hour to cook, right? I've done this before with a vertical kebab spike, and it always takes so much longer than you think it's going to take because it's piled on top of each other, right? So it's going to need an hour, and then once it's had an hour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my digital probe, and I'm going to make sure the center is above 75 degrees Celsius. And that means it will be fully cooked in the middle, all right? So, do that. Okay, into the oven. Right, kebabs in the oven, looking and smelling flipping amazing, if I'm perfectly honest. Thought I'd show you how to make some lovely flatbreads. Now, in the book, I've got a recipe for beer flatbreads with a couple of different dips. It's taken from that one, okay? So really simple. Great to do while you're waiting for your kebab to cook, to be honest. So yogurt, a little bit of olive oil. Olive oil will help keep the flatbreads nice and soft and foldable. Is foldable a word?
Yeah, I think
Easy
so.
to fold, foldable. You know what I mean. Mix that oil and we're going to add some beer. All right. The darker the beer, the more flavour it will have. All right. So I'm just going to chuck some of that in there. We'll add a bit more in a minute. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. You could add some spices in here if you want, whatever you fancy, depending on what sort of theme you're going for in terms of flavour profile. And then in with some self-raising flour. There we go. Now, I would normally say to anyone who, particularly over in America, if you haven't got self-raising flour, there's just Google how to make it. But somebody very nicely told me they've had self-raising flour for the past 50 years. So apparently you've got self-raising flour, so good for you. But we don't need bread flour for this because it's not a really high gluten bread. Okay, so self-raising flour or plain flour with some baking powder in if you like. There we go. Oh, yeah, nice. You wouldn't like that, Carlos. That's a proper dark, malty.
I like that.
Do you? Have a try if you like.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have a try. I didn't think you would like that. It's got a nice flavour, that. It's got almost like treacle. Do you like that?
Oh, yeah.
It's nice, isn't it? I subscribed to a beer subscription before Christmas. Beer 52, I think it was called. And they just sent me all these random beers. And for some reason, I peeled the label off that one. So I can't even tell you what it is. But it is nice, isn't it? I like to say, the darker the beer, the more flavour you'll get in your beer breads. So just once it comes to a ball of dough, just give it a little knead. You're never going to get that wonderful glutinous sort of traditional flatbread dough, but we're just going to give it a little bit of a knead, and that will just bring it together enough that we can then roll it out into flatbreads. Okay? So there we go. That's enough there. So all I need to do is I'm just going to squeeze that into, I'm going to make 3. I'll make 3 decent sized flatbreads. I'm just going to get a little bit more flour. Now we don't need to cook these in the oven, which is good, but you can if you want to. You know, if you've got like a pizza stone or something like that, you could easily cook them on that while your kebabs are cooking. But I'm going to cook mine in a frying pan. Okay, so I've got a 4-litre cast aluminium pan just getting nice and hot. No oil in there. We don't want to fry these. We want to bake them in the oven, okay? So just shape your first ball of dough like that, yeah? And then just press it down. Turn it over in the flour. Right, let's get a rolling pin. Now all you need to do is roll and turn, okay? Keep it moving. There we go. Wants to be about ½ centimetre thick. Too thin, and it'll break when you're transferring it to put it into the pan, but too thick, it won't cook, all right? So you want it about that size, and then take the lid, and right, that's definitely going to fit, we're okay. And because we put that little bit of oil in there, our flatbreads are going to be nice and pliable and easy. I've got big hands, so I can easily move this like so. But if you've got dainty little hands, fold it in half, fold it into quarters, then lift it up, put it in the pan, unfold it, and there you go, no stretch involved, all right? So while that's cooking, let's roll out the next one. Now, if you've got any questions at all, please do post them in the comments below. I am here to help, all right? And if you want the recipe, like I say, it's going to be out in our new book, Peter Sidwell's Kitchen, out in the sort of late summer, July, August, September time. We haven't got an actual release date yet, but it's coming. But you can pre-order the book if you want to. Just go to our website, petersidwell.com, and it's there. And we can ship. We're going to ship Carlos anywhere in the world, aren't we? We're going to have a go. So, no matter where you are, we'll get it to you. All right? Okay, right. I'm going to leave that one there, and then I'm going to do the last one. And what you'll find as well is, while you're doing this, the dough actually starts to react. So the beer and the self-raising flour are reacting and creating air straight away. So they do sort of puff up a little bit while you're waiting to roll them out. So don't sort of freak out if they're all sort of spongy a bit. Just knock it back, it's fine. And then just roll and turn, roll and turn. Use plenty of flour if you need to. There we go. Right, let's pop that there. Right, let's flip this one over. So all I'm going to do is take a silicone utensil and just flip it over like that, okay? So don't sort of fiddle about with them. Don't move them about. Just let them cook in the pan. They're cooking from the bottom up, which is why we cook them on both sides, all right? And if you want to, you can put a lid on and that will trap the heat in. Now we've created a little mini oven, so they're going to almost bake with that heat really, really easily. Keep your eye on them, yeah? They'll probably take about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes on each side. Or, as I said before, you can bake them in the oven if you want to, on trays. You just need to make sure that you don't overcook them. They become quite crispy, all right? Cooking them in a pan keeps them nice and pliable. Perfect for your kebab. Right, last flatbread. Look at that. A little bit warm. Right, let's move that pan over. Now, chicken is cooked. I've checked the temperature and it is above 75 degrees Celsius in the center. It's really, really important. If you haven't got a probe to take the temperature, cut into it, cut into the thickest part and make sure that it's fully cooked in the center, all right? Right, there we go. Let's get rid of that. It's kebab time. What do you think of that, Carlos? So the way, because we've like stacked it vertically, you've got all your little crispy bits. It's going to be super juicy in the middle, but it's going to be crispy on the outside. So you've got the kebab experience. I actually think it's probably going to taste better than a kebab shop kebab, because you're able to do as you please to it. You can adjust the flavors. Now, I've got a couple of dips here that I thought would work perfectly. And these are taken from our book. So I've got a beautiful roasted red pepper dip. So this is a recipe that actually comes from the Canary Islands. So Tenerife, Lanzarote, that sort of area. What's the other islands called, Carlos?
Tenerife, Lanzarote, La Gomera, El Hierro.
A few more that I didn't even know of.
I think it's about 9.
And basically what this is the jars of roasted red peppers chucked into a food processor, garlic, sherry vinegar, cumin seeds, olive oil and bread. Chuck it all in, blitz it all up, give it a season, and you've got this incredibly sweet, tangy dip. It's absolutely flipping delicious. It is really, really good. Great with a kebab. And then I've got some lovely tzatziki. So the traditional Greek dip of thick, rich, creamy Greek yogurt, cucumber, seeds removed, diced up, garlic, bit of red wine vinegar, olive oil and dried mint. Not fresh, it's got to be dried. So you've got that lovely creaminess. Now this is going to be a seriously good kebab, honestly. There we go. I've got a little bit of shredded cabbage for some crunch. There we go. All done, ready. Look at that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some fresh lemon I'm going to squeeze that on the cabbage first. There we go. Now let's cut some of this chicken. So, there we go. Make sure you get some of that onion as well, because that's just going to play a part in this one for sure. There we go. Let's take that beautiful chicken there.
Oh, wow.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Looks amazing.
There we go. This could well be like your first sober kebab, maybe. It'll be absolutely delicious. And then just squeeze some of that lemon juice on there. That is just going to just lighten the whole thing up, because you've got that rich, sweet red pepper dip. You've got the rich, creamy yogurt. You've got the chicken in there. All together, that is one killer kebab. Oh my God. That is so good. Carlos, when we finish making this program, we are eating this. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and please share it with your friends and family. Don't keep it to yourself. Share it and cook this dish. It's absolutely delicious.